Men, listen closely. What if I told you that the most powerful move you could ever make with a woman is to say nothing at all? Sounds backwards, right? But here's the truth that most guys never realize until it's too late. If you really want to stand out in her mind, if you want her to stop scrolling, to pause, to wonder, to overthink, to spiral just a little bit, then stop reaching out, stop chasing, stop trying to be the one constantly proving your worth. Most guys think that the more they text her, the more she'll care. They think that consistency equals connection, but in reality, pulling back, silence, is often the loudest message you'll ever send. Think about it for a second. Your silence disrupts the rhythm she's used to. It removes the comfort she's been relying on, the steady stream of messages, attention, and emotional check-ins. Suddenly, you're not part of her daily world. And that void? It hits her harder than you think. And this is when everything shifts. Now you're the mystery. You're no longer the predictable guy. You've become the question mark in her mind. Why hasn't he texted? Did I mess this up? Is he done with me? Is he talking to someone else? But here's the catch. You don't answer those questions. She does. Her reactions, her behaviors, the little things she starts to do or stops doing, that's where the truth comes out. And let me make something crystal clear. This is not about manipulation. This is about clarity. Your silence creates space. Space for her to think, to reflect, to feel, to either realize you were just an ego boost, or that you were actually something she can't stop thinking about. But most men, they don't make it to this moment because they're scared. They confuse persistence with progress. They think, if I stop messaging, she'll forget me. No. If you stop messaging, she'll finally have to face the question she's been avoiding all along. How do I really feel about him? And the moment she starts asking that, you've already won. So what happens when you go silent? Let's go deeper. Because if she truly cared, your silence will shake her world. And today, I'm breaking down the 10 real signs she starts losing her mind the moment you go quiet. And if any of these show up, oh, trust me, you've made an impact. Sign number 1, she panics, and you'll feel it, especially if she's used to having your attention. See, women are incredibly intuitive. They notice even the smallest shifts in tone, texting patterns, emotional energy. And when a man who's been consistent suddenly goes silent, it throws her off completely. It leaves a gap in her day, where your messages used to be. And in that space, her mind races. Did something happen? Did I say something wrong? Did he just lose interest? That panic doesn't come from logic. It comes from uncertainty. And here's what most men don't understand. Women crave emotional stability. Not knowing where they stand? It's unsettling. Especially if she secretly valued your presence more than she ever let on. So what does she do? She reaches out, sometimes subtly. Hey, haven't heard from you, everything okay? Other times more directly. Are you mad at me? Or even emotionally charged? Wow, just ghosting now? But don't be fooled. She's not just checking in. She's trying to reclaim control of the situation. Your silence has disrupted her power, and now she's grasping to get it back. Now here's where most guys screw it up. They rush to reply. They over-explain. They give away the advantage. Don't. You don't need to be cold, but you do need to be calm, controlled, centered. Give her space to sit with that discomfort. Because in that moment, she's not just missing your text. She's missing you, your presence, your emotional weight, your attention. And that panic, that's the first sign that she's slipping out of control. Sign number 2. She pretends she doesn't care. Now this one is subtle but powerful. When a woman acts like your silence means nothing, when she's posting selfies with captions like unbothered or living my best life, you might think she's over you. But let me tell you something that most men overlook. Real indifference doesn't need to be advertised. If she's truly moved on, she's not going out of her way to show it. But when she's constantly projecting, "I'm fine without you," that's a mask. It's her way of reclaiming her pride, not processing her emotions. She wants you to think she's unfazed, that your silence didn't affect her. But inside, she's checking your profile. She's wondering why you haven't broken the silence. She's frustrated that her usual moves aren't working. And the worst thing a man can do here is break character. Don't take her bait. She wants you to re-engage so she can regain control of the dynamic. But if you stay grounded, if you hold your position, that "I don't care" act starts to crumble. Because deep down, she does care. She just doesn't want to admit that you mattered more than she expected. Sign number 3. She starts stalking you online. You may not see her name in the likes. She might not comment. She won't message. But trust me, she's watching. Because in the silence, curiosity becomes obsession. Social media becomes her only window into your world now. And when she no longer has access to your energy, she starts hunting for signs. She'll scroll through your stories, check who you're hanging with, zoom in on group photos to see which girls are around you, analyze your captions like they're secret messages. And she won't just stop there. She might check who you've been following lately, click through your comments, even start interacting with people close to you, just to stay near your orbit. Why? Because your silence has created a vacuum, and her mind hates the unknown. Before, she had access to you. Now, she's stuck playing detective, trying to piece together clues. And here's the ironic part. The harder she tries to figure you out, the deeper she gets pulled into your mystery. But here's where most guys go wrong. They start posting just to be seen. Gym selfies, thirst traps, oversharing on stories, all to prove they're doing great. Stop. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing exactly what you're up to. That kills the suspense. Instead, stay low-key. Post rarely. Post intentionally. Let her see just enough to wonder, but not enough to know. Uncertainty is fuel. Let it burn. Sign number 4. She starts sending mixed signals. One day she likes your post. The next she ignores your story. Then she texts you something random, only to vanish again. And you're left thinking, what is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. She's testing you. Women know that inconsistency creates emotional chaos. They know that hot and cold energy keeps you stuck wondering where you stand. It's not random, it's strategy. Because she's trying to see, are you still hooked? Will you jump at her breadcrumb? Will you chase when she pulls away? Will you collapse the moment she offers a flicker of warmth? This isn't about connection, it's about control. And every time you respond emotionally to her flip-flopping, she wins. But if you stay calm, if you remain centered and unfazed, you pass the test. Understand this, David. Women respect strength, not neediness. When you treat her mixed signals like background noise, when you don't take the bait, she starts realizing the power has shifted. You're no longer reacting. You're choosing. And that's the moment she begins questioning if she's still in control of the story. Spoiler, she's not. Sign number 5. She starts questioning her decision. In the beginning, she might have felt confident. Maybe she ended things. Maybe she pulled back. Maybe she just took your attention for granted. But now she's second-guessing everything. Because when you don't chase, when you don't fight for her after she withdrew, you introduce her to a reality she didn't expect. You were never desperate. You were patient. You were evaluating. And that makes her wonder, wait, did I mess this up? Was he actually better than I gave him credit for? What if he was the real deal and I pushed him away? She'll start replaying old conversations, rereading your messages, looking at photos, texts, voice notes, searching for clues. Because now the validation she used to get from you, gone. The attention, gone. The energy, now focused elsewhere. And that's when something incredible happens. Doubt creeps in. But here's the kicker. Her doubt will only grow if you stay strong, if you stay grounded, if you keep working on you instead of trying to win her back. Because the more focused you are on your purpose, your goals, your grind, The more she starts to realize, you weren't just another guy. You were the guy she didn't fully understand, the one she might not get a second chance with. And that realization, it hits different. Sign number 6. She tries to make you jealous. It'll be subtle at first. A carefully framed photo with a guy, tagged of course. A story of her out partying, laughing, touching shoulders with someone new. A cryptic caption. Some people are just easier to be around. And suddenly, your phone is a minefield of emotional bait. But let me tell you something she'll never admit. She's not trying to move on. She's trying to get a reaction out of you. Your silence has created an emotional void, and now she's trying to see if she still has the power to pull you back. If she can make you jealous, she wins. Because jealousy isn't just an emotion. It's proof to her that she still lives rent-free in your mind. But here's the truth, David. A woman who's truly happy with a new man doesn't go out of her way to make her ex notice. This isn't confidence. It's insecurity dressed as performance. Her new photos, curated, her captions, calculated, her moving on, not real. And here's where most guys fall apart. They confront her. They try to outdo her. They start their own social media games. Big mistake. You're not here to compete with the clown show. You're here to build. Let her chase quick fixes while you chase growth. Because here's what will happen next. When she sees you're unbothered, when she realizes her games don't work on you, that fake confidence, it cracks. And she starts to realize she may have lost the man she can't replace. Sign number 7. She moves on too quickly, or at least it looks like she does. 1 minute, you're the last man texting her. The next, she's posting with someone new, dating, smiling, holding hands, as if you never existed. But don't be fooled. This isn't love. This is emotional distraction. Because real emotional healing doesn't happen in days. And genuine connection doesn't grow in rebound soil. This moving on is her way of skipping the hard part. The sitting alone, the feeling, the facing of what she lost. She's not healed. She's hiding. And here's how you'll know. It all feels forced, too fast, too performative. And if you stay silent, if you don't react, that new relationship, it starts to feel like a mirror, one that reflects her regrets. She'll wonder, why isn't he jealous? Why didn't he fight for me? Did he actually care? And while she's questioning her entire rebound romance, you're out here leveling up, focused, driven, evolving. And trust me, when her new situation starts to crumble, she'll remember the man who walked away with dignity, not the one who begged to stay. Sign number 8. She becomes curious about your life, not just online anymore, emotionally curious. Now she's asking mutual friends about you. She's wondering where you've been, who you're with, what you're building. She's trying to fill in the blanks your silence created. Because silence, when used with power, creates something that texting never could. Mystery. And mystery breeds curiosity. She used to know everything. Now she knows nothing. She used to predict your behavior. Now you're unreadable. And that shift in energy? It haunts her. Because humans don't crave what they understand. We crave the unknown. She starts replaying memories, overanalyzing your last words, questioning her own actions. She'll wonder, was he really over me the whole time? Has he already replaced me? Was I just temporary to him? But here's the best part, David. You don't have to explain a thing. Let her stay in curiosity. Let her marinate in the silence. Because curiosity isn't just about you. It's about what she realizes she's missing. Sign number 9. She starts blaming you for the silence. Now this is where the emotional tables turn. She might say things like, "Wow, I guess I meant nothing to you. You could have at least said goodbye. So you just ghost people now?" And suddenly, she paints herself as the victim. But here's the twist. Her blame is a reflection of her own guilt. She's not angry at you, she's angry at herself. Because deep down she knows. She didn't appreciate you when you were present. She didn't communicate. She didn't show up. Now that you've walked away without drama, It forces her to look inward, and that's uncomfortable. So she flips the script. Because if you're the bad guy, she doesn't have to face her own role in the fallout. But don't fall for the guilt trip. Don't defend yourself. Don't send paragraphs explaining your silence. Let her feel the consequence of taking you for granted. Silence is the boundary. And that boundary, it forces her to sit in the truth of her choices. Sign number 10. She respects you more than before. I know, it sounds backwards. You'd think that pulling away, going quiet, disappearing from her inbox would make her think less of you. But it doesn't. Because here's the truth most men never understand. A woman doesn't respect the man who chases her. She respects the man she has to chase. When you go quiet, not out of bitterness but out of strength, you send a clear message. I'm not desperate for your attention. I know my worth. I choose peace over games. And that energy, that's what commands respect. See, most guys crumble the moment a woman pulls back. They beg, they over-explain. They become emotionally unstable, like their entire sense of identity was wrapped up in her approval. But not you. When you go silent, you become rare. You become the exception in a world full of men who would have done anything to stay in her orbit. And here's what happens next. Her view of you changes. You're no longer just another guy in her messages. You're the man she couldn't predict, the one she didn't expect to have the strength to walk away, the one who chose himself and left her wondering what she lost. That kind of composure, that kind of detachment, it sticks with her. Because even if she doesn't come back, even if you never speak again, one thing is guaranteed. She will respect you. And in the end, that respect is worth more than 1,000 forced conversations. Here's the truth, David, and every man watching this. When you go quiet, you're not being weak. You're not being petty. You're not giving up. You're rising. Most men are so terrified of losing a woman that they'll never give her the chance to miss them, to reflect, to sit in silence and realize what she lost. But the bold ones, the alpha ones, they know that sometimes the strongest message is no message at all. So if you're in that place, if you've pulled back, gone quiet, and you're watching the signs unfold, don't panic. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay on purpose. You don't need her validation. You don't need her explanation. You don't need closure. Because the moment you stop seeking her approval, that's the moment she starts remembering your value. And whether she panics, pretends, stalks, tests, blames, or disappears, it doesn't change this one powerful truth. The silence you chose wasn't a weakness. It was the doorway to your strength, and that's something she'll never forget. If you've ever gone silent on someone and started seeing these signs, drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm not just here to drop truth. I'm here to build a brotherhood of strong, grounded men who value themselves first. So hit that like button if this spoke to you. Subscribe if you're ready to become the man who commands respect without ever needing to beg for it. This is Alpha Male 360, and I'm David, here to help you walk in power, purpose, and presence. Until next time, stay silent, stay sharp, and stay alpha.